Hello, everyone. This is Kat of Catalyst Holistic Life Coaching, bringing your life in alignment with you. I'm here today to do your tarot and oracle reading for the full moon in Scorpio we have tonight. It's the last supermoon of the year, and then we're moving into eclipse season. So this is going to be one that is probably triggering a lot of emotions. Scorpio is the very intense and deep feeling, like getting down to the depths, sometimes not always the light and happy emotions, but just all of everything, the nitty gritty. And with it being a supermoon, we're probably going to feel this quite a bit more intensely for some of us. And so I am working with the Moonology deck as usual. We'll have a couple tarot cards to kind of look at the overall energy. We have some goddess guidance, and then I picked also a healing with the fairies card because since this is tending to bring up a lot of release and letting go of negativity, just a way that we can bring more healing into the situation, more light. Okay, so just starting off with the full moon in Scorpio card, yeah, that releasing negativity, the shadow, the dark side, releasing negative emotions, negative patterns, negative thoughts, as well as negative people. These could be outside things that you are needing to release that are no longer serving you. So as I was sitting with the cards, the visual, I wasn't so much getting a feeling as a visual of being in this just really dark cave, kind of lined with, there were some crystals, like black crystals, but it was mostly just dark. And I was just following a light around, looking for, I don't know, just going through the cave, continuously searching, maybe for the end, maybe for more light, but searching for something. So we're following this inner light. We're kind of going deeper. That was one part I saw, was just continuing to go deeper down into the cave. We weren't really looking for a way out. We're just looking to keep going and shining a light on every nook and cranny that's there. So we're really actually cultivating like what's there. We're wanting to see what we've buried down so much, and now we're actually going to try to bring it to the surface. Okay, so we'll see what this reading has in store for us. So for our tarot cards, the kind of overall energy we have is the Hierophant in the reverse. This is the Shadowscapes Tarot. I thought it was fitting. So for our weekly guidance, we had the Hierophant, except he was in the upright. So with this Hierophant being in the reverse, this normally has to do with like our connection to values and nature, the spiritual. This can either be religious or just spiritual, connecting to the universe, spirit in whatever way possible. But there's this connection, there's this teacher, there's this guidance, there's these values that we stand on, rooted growth, what we've learned from. So with him being in the reverse, things are kind of being challenged right now. Your teachings are being challenged. What you thought you knew, what were your foundations, traditions are being challenged right now. They are being kind of uprooted. Things that maybe you held dear before are not what you really believe anymore, or your surroundings, people you were close with, things are just getting stirred up where you're not feeling as in alignment with this anymore. This is, as I said last week, kind of a card about like unity, being united with ourselves. And so if this is speaking more on a personal level, we're not feeling in alignment with something anymore. Something is out of place, and we're kind of searching for that wisdom again. Okay, and so the second card we have is the Six of Wands in the reverse. So this is normally about triumph And with it being in the reverse, I feel like this is speaking towards self-triumph. Like we're triumphing over these old beliefs and structures that maybe were not really actually serving us. We are finding a personal goal, and this isn't necessarily something that is like a huge outward celebration that everyone's going to come towards. This is something that you are personally feeling powerful in overcoming. That's the sense that I get, that this is just really speaking on a personal level, that you are doing this work on your own. This is not something that someone is going to notice or see outwardly until it's fully integrated, but you are feeling more triumphant over these things, over your passions and what actually makes you feel connected to your light. Okay, so moving into the moon cards. Here we go. So our first card represents what needs to be forgiven, what needs to be really released and let go. So we have the new moon eclipse. Expect powerful change. So I don't know if it's a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse we have first after this. It might be a solar somewhere that's not visible here. But releasing this change, integrating it, whatever this new powerful like realization was, this kind of triumphant, this could have you kind of questioning who you really are. You could be feeling maybe a little negativity towards yourself. There could be a lot of emotion. So just processing and releasing, like, this shift has happened. There may not be anything that you can do about it at this moment. And it's something that's catalyzing you to be on something that is more in alignment. And so the more you kind of accept it and allow it to be there, the more triumphant you'll feel instead of victimized. So this is a really, really potent change. This is a new start because it's a new moon, but it's empowered by the sun behind it. So that's that kind of, I see like that shadow as well. Like there's still light there. It's not completely dark. We have this potential there coming from this shadow. So this could be releasing those shadows, allowing your shadow self to be felt and released in a more complete way. Okay, so the second card represents what the full moon is illuminating for us, what is coming into the bigger picture. The waning moon, what do you need to release? So release, release, release. Let it go. Surrender. Keep going deeper. Release that negativity. Anything that makes you feel, you'll be able to feel what feels like light and dark. You can kind of sense what's really dragging you down and what's actually making you feel powerful. What is connecting you more to this change? What is holding you back? This is the last little phase before we actually get to this new moon. So over the next couple weeks until we do come up to the new moon, just work on continually releasing. It doesn't have to be something that happens right away. It's everyone's process, but just keep surrendering into it. Keep allowing whatever this change is. If it's something that you are resisting, see why you are resisting it. Why are you clinging to it so much, or what is coming up? Sometimes these aren't necessarily things that we're clinging to, but we just haven't sat with them long enough to actually allow them the space to come through. Things kind of, if you've seen the saying, work in a spiral where you kind of come back to where you started to make sure that you've integrated and learned lessons. So there could just be some old things that haven't been fully integrated. So be gentle with yourself. Keep allowing that to come forward. Okay, so then our last card for the Moonology represents what comes next. And we have the full moon in Pisces, balancing spirituality and practicality. So we're finding more of this connection. We could have either been really kind of stuck in so much the physical world that we haven't been able to focus on the spiritual. But now that we've had this chance to turn inward after quarantining and kind of getting away from people and actually sitting with ourselves, now we see where our spiritual practice was maybe lacking, where we were not being more connected with the earth, with our higher selves, with whatever you really believe in spiritually. Or this could be, meaning you were looking more for answers outside of yourself in the spiritual sense, and not taking the action. Like you weren't putting in the work, you weren't, you were just kind of relying on outer things to change, instead of doing your own personal work to make the things change. And I don't want to say make, where you did the work inside yourself to be more in alignment with yourself, therefore creating alignment in your outer world. You were relying on other things to do that for you. You were relying on the shift to come in another form, and not realizing the power and potential that you have to create this balance for yourself. So we're going to start to feel, after we keep releasing, keep letting go of really old traditions. These could be things that, maybe your family put on you, or old relationships, ideas and beliefs that really weren't your own, that really were kind of suffocating you. And so you're diving, this is another sign of depths. Pisces is like the deepest of depths, but it's more in the spiritual realms. Scorpio is in the spiritual realms as well, but they're just like more wanting to get into like the shadow self. They're still kind of involved in this physical world, whereas Pisces is just really more of like the outer, like spiritual connection that we have. So we're going to start to feel more of that connection with either our outer world, spirit, the earth, however that manifests for you. Okay, so we have 3 goddesses today. So this is just energy that we can kind of align with to help us stay kind of in tune with this moon energy for the next couple weeks. So the first goddess we have is Lakshmi and Fortune. So this could be this big change coming your way, and Fortune, abundance, like she's very like sacral chakra energy. This could be sacral healing, especially if it is related to Scorpio. Scorpio has to do with like our sexual energy, the sexual organs. So you could be healing in that area. This could be like really powerful change. And so you're going to feel like more abundant because you're in this more balanced state. You're going to have this really triumphant energy coming from within. And so that will appear outwardly either as money or abundance of friends, abundance of everything being meant. Abundance doesn't always mean we're getting a lot of money. That, comes in waves, comes and goes for everyone. But just finding that abundance, that fortune, like this could just be good fortune coming to you as you start to release more and more of this and allow and receive. I'm hearing receive. Allow yourself to receive more and trust in that as well. Okay, so the second goddess we have is Athena and knowledge. So this is all a learning process for everyone. You have more of this wisdom, this intuition, trusting your intuition more, trusting in your spiritual guidance, trusting in your personal truth, in your wisdom, because this experience is bringing you closer to home. It's bringing you closer to what's really in those caves. Where are you really finding this light? And that light is truly like conscious knowledge. It's how we integrate and start to change our behavior or learn how to be more authentic. So trusting that this is something that is benefiting for your knowledge and your growth. Okay, so the last goddess we have is the goddess Isis in alignment, so for rebirth. So yeah, this rebirth, Scorpio is also the sign of rebirth. Another representation is the phoenix. So with her being in the alignment, I'm seeing this as, both of these are in the reverse. This is the doing that personal work, aligning with allowing the old to fall away. Because in order for rebirth to happen, it's new, it's messy, it's releasing something from before. So you have to allow old things to die away, even if it seems painful, even if it seems questionable as to, it's so challenging to you, to your ideas of what you thought about yourself or how your life should be, that you really just have to trust in that wisdom, in that knowledge. Okay, so just aligning over the next couple weeks, keep aligning with that energy of like, do I keep this or do I let it go? Is this where I want to take me into my new self? Because we are moving into some new versions of ourselves. I've been hearing that a lot in the astrology and everything over the last couple weeks. So this is an opportunity to take this full moon during this year. I actually read something about the full moon was celebrated in Buddhism, where Buddha attained enlightenment around the flower moon, around the Scorpio full moon. So that enlightenment is a rebirth. That was when he finally let his old ego self go and he stepped into something new. So just keep coming back to that question. Is this something I want to take forward with me? Is this really who I am? Or is this something I can let go of and be transmuted? Okay. All right. So a little healing energy from the fairies this week. What can kind of help us? I love these things. Letting go. Let that shit go. Yeah, and once again, full moon, let it go, surrender it. She's, it's dramatic, it's heavy, it's a lot, but it's powerful. It's so powerful to let go, and I'm not saying it is easy. It is a constant work. It is something you have to be disciplined about. It is something you have to be conscious and present with, but it is so necessary, and it's not, I'm not perfect at it either. I've held on to shit for years. But when you kind of have the universe nudging at your door saying, okay, it's time to let this go, try listening this time. See what shifts. See if you really can just let it go. For some of us, it's really easy. For some of us, it's really difficult. So just be gentle with yourself. Don't be so stinging like the scorpion. Don't be really hard on yourself. That's another thing Scorpio can do, is be just really sharp. Invite gentleness, especially with this fortune card. Because this is so much inner work, you are more dependent on yourself right now. You are more dependent on your own healing and your own power. So be loving and gentle. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your process. Enjoy your time letting go. And process with others. Like, you don't have to do this all alone. You can, relay to others, like, this is what I'm going through. This is what I really need to, like, release. Like, can you help me, like, get more perspective on this, or get another viewpoint. Okay, so that's the healing. That's all you have to do, is just let it go. Allow the change to come forward. This could be, for some of us, this could be the the eclipse season is going to be really powerful in allowing us to let these things go. We did just shift in the lunar nodes. We were in Cancer and Capricorn for the last couple years, and now we are shifting into Gemini and Sagittarius, I believe. And so this is going through a change over the next couple years. And we have Saturn in a new placement. We're about to go through a bunch of retrogrades. A lot of shit is happening. A lot of things are coming up. So if you're kind of going a little bit crazy and you're like, why is all this happening to me right now? It could be this is just stuff you haven't processed and you really need to let it go. Like, trust yourself more, trust in that power, trust that you really have more knowledge than you realize and you have more power than you realize, okay? Because we're all going to come out with this really big triumphant energy and it will reverberate outwardly, okay? All right. I think that's all I have for you guys today. Really powerful stuff. Get out there, enjoy the sight of the full moon if you can. It's a beautiful one. Doing those self-loving things and just being really nurturing. The full moon afterwards is kind of a time to slow down and actually integrate. So we don't have to do a whole lot of hard work. We just have to do the inner work. Okay, if you really liked this video and you feel like tipping or donating, I will include the links below of how you can do that. I will be back to do the new moon reading as well as next week's weekly guidance. And if you feel called to book any readings, you are also welcome to do that. All of my services are currently donation based, as I hope to help those who are maybe financially kind of suffering from this whole situation. I will put this out there as well, I am currently looking for, I am integrating and building my business through like my schooling that I have taken on over the last few months and really starting to develop more of my coaching practice. And I am leaving open 8 spots to potential clients, people who would like to come on and actually work for me, or not work for me, work with me. For at least a month. That would be my first kind of timeline, and we can continue on if we feel like there's more work to be done. But it's initially coming in, doing wellness consultations, and then just coaching through whatever area of your life you may be looking in. If you have chronic illness or chronic pain, anything like physical you're dealing with like that, you're wanting to attain a new personal goal, just find something to align with, looking for counseling, whatever that is, I am just looking on to take 8 people to really develop my practice. So if that is something you're interested in, you can either go to my website, sign up for my newsletter, or you can send me an email as well at katalystholisticarts@gmail.com. And we will see what we can do and how we can work together. Thank you so much to those of you who have tuned in whenever you are watching this. I wish you full moon blessings. Get out there and be weird. Accept what's there and let that shit go. Thank you again and have a great evening. Thank you so much.